Have you heard of the drug succinylcholine?
Nope.
Okay, how about potassium chloride? Well, these are 2 of the 3 drugs used to administer a lethal injection, and both are almost impossible to detect in an autopsy. I was wondering if you could help me out with something. These victims all have the same MO. They all committed a crime, were released through the judicial system, and shortly after, all were found dead with a suspected heart attack. But all of them had the scales of justice burned into their chest, and all had a white blindfold on.
So some cult thing or something.
Maybe. But then I got to thinking, why a heart attack? So I went through the autopsy reports and I noticed 2 injection marks on their bodies, and the burns appeared to have been made before they died. So then I went through the toxicology reports and I noticed that all of these victims were consistent with potassium chloride poisoning. Now that would mask a heart attack. Make sense? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Not really.
Well, something just didn't sit right. I mean, why the second injection mark? And how did the killer get close enough to burn them? I mean, some of these victims are pretty large and would have put up a struggle. But then it dawned on me, all of these victims were unconscious or paralyzed. So we tested for paralysis drugs, which came up negative until we heard of succinylcholine. Now sucks, as it's commonly referred to, when it's administered to a patient, it starts breaking down immediately because of the enzymes in the body, making it almost impossible to detect, and why all our screenings were coming up negative. But then we realised we could actually test for the breakdown products known as metabolites, and that was successful, which proved that not only sucks, but potassium chloride was used in all of these murders.
No wonder you made detective, that's impressive.
Yeah. But it still doesn't help that all these victims keep popping up everywhere.
See, victims, you keep calling them victims, but I'd say the victims are the people that they murdered and raped, and the children that they groomed, and those families that have to see the scum of our society walk free because our judicial system is too fucking pathetic to put these sick pricks behind bars.
Whatever way you look at it, these people are dead, which now makes them the victims.